All right. Welcome to Pi-Fi Code. Today we learn how to compile a nim program. So in the previous videos, we might have listened to an AI generated video. Actually, it's just the audio that was generated using AI. Now this one is me speaking, the owner of this channel speaking to you. It's too hard even to create an AI video. I did not want to spend a lot of money in subscribing to an AI voice generation application and then create this video. So I thought I'll just do it by myself. Today we will learn how to compile a nim program. We'll take the Hello World program that we saw in the previous video and then try and compile it. So I hope you have a text editor that you use regularly, and this is VS Code, and I've applied a dark theme to it. So this is the program, echo hello world. It simply prints the phrase hello world, the statement hello world onto the console. So let's just compile the program. So now for compiling a nim program, you can type nim compile hello nim, and I presume that you already know what a compiled programming language is. So there are basically three kinds of programming languages when it comes to translation strategy. And what do I mean by translation? It's just that you take a programming program's source code and then you translate it to machine code. Right, so there are three kinds of such languages. The first and foremost is compiled, then you have interpreted, then you have a third kind called just in time. Yeah, so it's called just in time compiled. I don't have to worry about these two, and I'm not going into the definitions of each in detail. It's just that compiled means there would be a file at the end that you have to run. Basically, you have source code, which is the program in dot whatever extension, which eventually results in a file which contains machine code, or sort of machine code. That's sort of compiled, but then there are different variations where you compile to WebAssembly, when you compile to some intermediate representation. There are different ways. Then you have compiled to another source code, which is actually transpiling. Basically, what this means is that there is a file that you have to run. Interpreted, it's just simple. You have the source code and it's the interpreter. Like for example, let's say Ruby interpreter. It reads line by line and executes immediately. Right. So it takes one line at a time and executes. Of course, there are some things that the interpreter does but then you have just-in-time compiled, which is sort of a combination of both. It takes things line by line, but then compiles, and if you have to run it again, it calls the compiled, it caches the compiled code and then runs that the second time. So programming languages like JavaScript has JIT compiled runtimes like I think V8. This one, I think Node as well. I presume Node is Node and Bun, Dino, everything is just in time compiled. I think you have to double check on that. So nim is a compiled programming language. So you have a .nim file which eventually ends up as a .exe file. If you're on Windows, if you're on Linux, you just have a binary file or an executable file. We'll see that shortly. As I mentioned, the AI mentioned the nim file is first translated to C code, which then is translated to assembly by GCC or Clang, which is which are C compilers. And then it results in ASM. Does it go to ASM? I'm sorry. I should just say that nim is also in a binary executable file. You'll see that shortly. So the hello world. So this is the command that you need to type to compile a hello world, a nim program. So if I write nim compile hello.nim, you see a bunch of messages, and you can see that the file that I talked about exists. So it's hello. How do I run this? On Linux just run it like this. Hello world. So you saw that when you type this and you run nim compile hello, it compiles. However, there is a shorthand for this, and that is when you don't have to specify the entire word compile, but instead you can just type C, and also you can omit the .nim extension and still you can compile. So there's nim compile hello.nim, then there's nim c hello. So now what about the situation where you want to run the file immediately? So you can just type nim c run hello.nim or just hello, and it ran the created file, the outputted file. Now, as you might have imagined, there's a shorthand for that as well. So it's nim cr hello. Hello world again. If you want to turn off those messages, you can simply write verbosity. No, sorry. Hints off. Oh no, that didn't work. I think it has to be here. Yeah. So you can just type hints off, or you can also write verbosity 0. Yeah. Of course, there are different options or what we call flags that you can use. You can just simply type nim help and find them here. So what are the options that you have? So if you type this, you'll get the entire menu the entire options that you can use to compile and run. So you can turn warnings off, you can turn hints off, or you can reduce the verbosity of the message to make it light. So you can do different things. So every nim program that you create, let me just remove hello again. So every nim program that you create, it's very easy to compile and run. Hello, or you can type nim c dash hello. Cool. I made a bash alias. So you can make bash aliases, and I just made a bash alias called nx to compile and run immediately. So I can simply let me just remove, so I can simply just type nx hello, and that's it. So nx is a bash alias that I made, which is short for nim compile run hints of hello. So you can create a bash alias, and that's it. So thank you for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.